How to lose 40 pounds after age 40. I want to talk to my busy older parents or high performers out there that are either approaching 40 or have passed 40 years old and want to lose a significant amount of weight. In this case, 40 pounds is an example, but even if you need to lose 30 or 20, this will still apply to you. As we get older and life starts to happen and we have more responsibilities, a more demanding career, a more demanding weekend schedule, kids practice, all that stuff, the thought of having to lose a lot of weight feels really daunting. In fact, I know with a lot of the people I work with who are over 40, when they join our program, they think, you know, in a way, is it too late? Is it too late to lose weight? Have I passed my prime? I'm not young anymore. My metabolism isn't what it used to be. I don't recover the same way. And while there's probably some truth to some of that, what I can tell you is it's not too late, right? Number one, it's not too late. And I think the biggest mistake I see people make as they get older is they have this mindset that their best years are behind them. And so what I want to do quickly is share a story about how I learned to ski this past winter. I'm 30, almost 37, so I'm approaching my 40s as well. I'm definitely no longer the young 20-something guy. And this past winter, I decided to take up skiing. I'd never skied before in my life. And I went out on the course, or I went out on the slopes, whatever you call it, and I started skiing terribly at first, but good enough to where I felt like, okay, I could probably learn this if I get some help. So I decided to hire a ski instructor. And when I hired him, I saw him and I thought, okay, this guy's probably like 50, 60 years old, looks really fit. He's going to be a great instructor because he's got some experience, blah, 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 right? Well, about 30 minutes into my first lesson, he took off his goggles and his helmet. His name was Bob. And I noticed he looked a little older than I thought he was. I was like, hold on a second, he's not young. And I asked him, I said, Bob, I'm just curious, how old are you? He said, I'm 85 years old. 85. And I almost like choked for a second. Like, what? 85? Like, wait a second. This guy had been skiing his ass off on the slopes in front of me all day, teaching me how to ski. And I asked him, I said, are you serious? Like, you're 85? He goes, yep, I'm 85. I said, when did you start skiing? He said, I didn't start skiing until I was 50 years old. I said, oh my goodness. So he started skiing even later than I started skiing. So here I was, 36 at the time, thinking, man, I'm going to have a huge uphill battle, no pun intended, when it comes to learning how to ski. I've probably passed my prime. I wish I would have learned this at a much younger age. So on one hand, I'm thinking it's too late. And then I meet this guy who's 85, who's skiing his butt off, who's in great shape. And when I asked him, like, what's your secret? Like, how do you stay so fit to be able to ski like this? He said, I simply take care of myself. I decided it wasn't too late when I was 50. I was out of shape, so I started skiing to get in better shape. And I just decided in my head, it's not too late. I made that decision. I didn't let life make that decision for me. So the biggest mistake you're making right now is putting these limitations on yourself. You got Bob, an 85-year-old guy, he learned how to ski, got in great shape, and is teaching young guys like me or younger guys like me how to ski at 85 years old. This guy hopefully is going to live to 100, and he'll be skiing well into his later years, which is insane. So we got to start with the mindset piece. You get this right, you're automatically going to be on the right track. Now, the next thing I know a lot of people over age 40 are concerned about is training itself, right? They think, oh, I'm going to get hurt, or maybe you're already battling injuries. And here's the thing. It's never, at least in most cases, it's never the gym where you get hurt. It's a lot of bad postural habits and body movements that you've developed over the years. So if you've spent an enormous amount of time at your desk or sitting on the couch or standing with bad posture or bending over in bad form, over the years, like, that starts to take a toll on your body. And so the big difference I would say between a 20-year-old and a 40-plus-year-old is more time spent doing bad habits physically, right? Maybe sleeping on the wrong, with wrong form. Maybe your breathing isn't great. Maybe your core strength isn't great. Your shoulders start to round forward. And so you go in the gym with a body that to be honest, just isn't moving the way it needs to move, right? Your mobility isn't great. So naturally, you're not going to feel super comfortable at times going in the gym and lifting weights. So what we need to do is we need a basic routine that addresses strength, mobility, flexibility, and basically reversing, multiple decades worth of poor movement habits, right? So, a lot of people say, hey, well, I don't want to throw my back out. I don't want to hurt my knees. Everything hurts these days. I'm afraid to deadlift. I'm afraid to squat. And the good news is you don't have to go in the gym and lift like a power lifter, especially as you get older. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anyway. What you need to do is just get into the gym and start moving your body through proper ranges of motion. Start addressing things like weak glutes or weak butt muscles, whatever you want to call it. Start addressing, weak back and rear delts, the part of your shoulder that's behind you. Those things, when they get addressed, everything else starts feeling better. Not to mention, you start to be able to avoid injury a lot better as you get older. So most people I work with who are over the age 40, we're not in the gym every day. They don't go and lift weights for an hour, 6-7 days a week. Typically, it's like 3 to 4 days a week of actual lifting for like 40 to 45 minutes. And then the rest of the week is spent working on things like mobility, stretching, working through body weight movement patterns to start to basically reprogram the way you move. You might have a really strong body, but the software isn't operating properly, right? So the computer's good, but internally it's not doing things the right way. You've just adjusted over the years to bad habits, and it's led to you just not feeling strong and great as you've gotten older. So nobody should shy away from lifting with weights. In fact, lifting weights is part of like the found of youth as you get older. Think of lifting weights as keeping your body from breaking down as you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s. If you want to keep your body, as youthful as possible, you're going to want to lift weights. It's a vital part of the aging process, or the anti-aging process. So when it comes to rounding out your program as you get older, just know that there isn't massive amounts of differences in how you should train and how you should approach losing fat as you get older. Just know that you're probably just battling more bad habits, right? So we call our system, where I coach guys and women who are high performers over the age of 35, getting into their 40s, getting into their 50s, we call our system the 3M system. So we talked about the first M, which is muscle. The second one is really quick. We call it movement. And I see a lot of people as they get older jump into these high intensity versions of cardio where they think they got to go run, they got to do spin class and Peloton, just nonstop. And while those things can have their time and place, the most underrated form of cardio as you get older is walking. People who live a long time, so there's these zones around the world called blue zones, where people live to be an average of 97, 100 years old. One of their key habits is they walk every day and they get more steps in. So as you're putting together your plan, my suggestion is schedule a 20 to 30 minute walk every day, or break it up and do 2 10-minute walks, or 2 15-minute walks, or better yet, 2 20-minute walks if you can fit it in. Walking lowers stress, it helps with digestion, it helps with regulating blood sugar, heart health, obviously, cardiovascular health. Get your walking done. That will be the best form of cardio you can do, especially as you get into your 40s. Let's wrap things up with nutrition. Now, I could spend hours talking about nutrition. I have tons of YouTube videos and other videos on how to eat, how to set up your nutrition plan. I just want to give you some really valuable advice though when it comes to transforming your eating habits as you get older. The best 2 pieces of advice I'll give. Number 1, start to really eliminate the packaged processed crap like chips, candy, vending machine foods, sodas. That stuff really shouldn't have a big piece in your diet whatsoever. Here and there, totally fine. If you're at a party and you have some chips, great. If you go out for Mexican food and you want some chips and salsa, fine. I love candy and Kit Kats and all that stuff just as much as anybody else, but the less of that stuff in your diet, the more your appetite's going to be under control. You're going to be less inflamed. Not to mention, you're going to be able to have calories that are put towards things like healthy, nutrient-dense foods, proteins, fruits and vegetables, potatoes, fish, you know, maybe some rice, bread here and there, but eliminate the processed junk. The second piece of advice is get into a routine with the types of foods you eat. Get into a meal rotation. Don't fall into the trap of trying to eat something different every day. Find healthy foods you love, prepare them the way that you enjoy, and stick to a lot of the same type of meals over and over and over again. So that way, when you do go out to eat here and there, when you do have date night or birthdays or work events, you can mix it up using those events. That's like the flexibility that's naturally built into your routine just because of life stuff that goes on. So if you follow those two pieces of advice, and of course, make sure you're managing your calories, make sure you're getting enough protein. You do all that, I'll tell you right now, losing 40 pounds is gonna be a breeze. So guys, that wraps up today's video on how to lose 40 pounds after the age of 40. Don't overcomplicate this stuff. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have to take crazy supplements or you have to, stand on your head to lose weight. Like, it doesn't really, there's no need to complicate the process. As you get older, like I said, simplifying it is really the biggest answer and the biggest flex and the biggest hack when it comes to losing fat. My name's Josiah Novak. Check out thetruetransformation.com. Check out the description below if you want some additional resources. Life moves fast. Make it count. I'll talk to you in the next one.